All right, it says we are now live for another meeting of the Glendale Coin Club. So thank you all for being here. Really appreciate that. I don't see myself on YouTube yet until it plays our ad, but let me skip that ad. That's my phone buzzing to say we're live. Thanks again, everybody, for being here. Again, this is the November 2021 meeting of the Glendale Coin Club. And before we even get into it any further, before we start telling you anything else, I think we should start out with the Pledge of Allegiance, Don.
Absolutely.
So let me go ahead and make myself full screen there. And if you guys at home want to stand and follow along with the pledge, I encourage you to do so. You ready, Don?
Yes, sir.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you very much for joining along with that. Let me set this to the side respectfully, of course. All right. It's Friday. Second Friday of the month. That's the time we always do the Glendale Coin Club meeting. Now, of course, in years past, I used to say months past, but now it's getting to be in years past. We used to meet at the La Crescenta Library in the community meeting room. But it's been a year and a half since we've been able to do that. Hopefully it won't be another year and a half before we get back to our meetings, Don. But so far it looks like maybe last month we could have got in there with some severe restrictions, and we kind of passed on that. And now I think they're cracking down and making it even tougher to get in there. So it's not looking good right now, is it?
No.
All right, a little background on our club. We're the Glendale Coin Club, Southern California, started in March 1959. Again, we always have our meetings on the second Friday of the month. They told me when I became president of the club that we've always been known as the Friendly Club, and I've been president for a few years now. Don Barry here, who goes by SoCal Box Breaks on YouTube, is our club secretary and here along with us. I guess before we get any further, I just want to say Happy Veterans Day to all of you club members and those watching who served or are still serving. I know yesterday was Veterans Day, so thank you all for your service. Much, much appreciated. Let's see. What else do we got to go? Just a reminder, if you missed any of our previous online YouTube meetings that we've held up to date, they're all saved on the channel. That's one reason we really like to do our meetings on YouTube here versus other clubs that have been meeting on Zoom. You can go back and YouTube saves them, records them. You can play back the live chat during it all time. The last, 17, 18, 19 meetings are all there recorded, and you can watch them at any time. And there's been a lot of great speakers and lots of positive feedback on each of those. So I encourage you to do so if you missed any of those, or if you're just if you want to watch back some of the great presentations. We do earn a little bit of advertising revenue on these streams from the little ads that you had to skip earlier. And if anybody sends any donations during live stream, just a reminder that does go all back into our club treasury, and it helps us cover the expenses of using the streaming program that we have here. So thank you all for supporting that. We do have some free giveaways available to anybody watching. All you got to do to get in on the free giveaways is just say something in the text chat at least one time. And if you don't think you're in on it, just say, "Hi, Don, make sure I'm in," or something like that. Because all during this and all during the beginning, Don has been writing down names of people he sees in here on little tickets. We're going to pick the tickets at the after show and tell, I believe we'll do it right before we do an auction at the end, and give away some free prizes. Here's what we got tonight. A lot of these have been donated by Michael Aaron Rare Coins, so thank you for that. Here's a 2005 Bison Nickel Set with some like post-mint finishes. One has a hologram, one's colorized, one's gold-plated. Got a 1986 Statue of Liberty proof commemorative $50 available. Got this one. The packaging's kind of beat up. It looks like maybe somebody ran over it with a truck, but it's still a cool set and I figured it'd be a good giveaway. And it was a donation to the club. It's a 1997 United Kingdom uncirculated coin collection. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Also got a couple of our Glendale Coin Club medals. This is one of the 2014 medals for our 55th anniversary. These are done by Dan Carr of the Moonlight Mint. So pretty collectible and low mintage. And this is the 2015 version with the Pacific Company cap, rays, and stars $5 design that was real popular. So a couple copper medals up for grabs. and also a silver half-ounce coin from Canada, Special Service Forces from 2015. It's got the Star for America and the Maple Leaf for Canada. So if you want to win any of this stuff for free, all you got to do is say something in the chat and tell Don, make sure I get in for the giveaway. So thanks again to Michael Aaron for the donations of a bunch of the prizes here. I think he donated everything in this except maybe the half-ounce silver. I think he donated all these others. Michael Aaron is our, we used to call him the oldest member of our coin club, but he's not really the oldest member. He's just the one that's been on the membership rolls for the longest, our longest current member, I guess. I think he's been in the club since before me and Don were even born. So, all right, what other announcements do we have, Don? I guess we had our coin show on October 24th.
We did.
I think it had some awesome attendance. It was really good to see a lot of the club members there.
Yes.
Really great show. I mean, a lot more people showed up than I thought would be there. I mean, we had some parking issues that I thought would keep some people away, but it sure didn't. It seemed to.
No.
Yeah. I mean, we had a couple tables open, unfortunately. We did have a last-minute cancellation by one of the dealers, but other than that, it was really nice to be able to get our show in and done before the city of Los Angeles bumped up their COVID restrictions, which just took effect this last week. So it was nice to get in before that. Yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone, including Don here, who helped make the show really great by helping out. And then thanks everybody else just for being there to support the club and supporting our dealers. It was really cool. Any other comments about the show or anything, Don? What do you think?
No, it was great. It was great. Yeah.
I don't have a full treasury report on the show or anything because we still have at least one person who didn't submit their expenses. Don, make sure you let me know your expenses so I can get that finalized and get you reimbursed for that.
Whoops.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'll get that to you.
No problem.
This weekend.
No, but I think it went pretty well. Again, we had really great attendance. It was pretty much a solid, people coming in for at least usually it's only the first hour or two on a show like that. Then it really trickles down. It was even at 2-3 in the afternoon, there were still a lot of people coming in. It was pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And all the dealers seemed pretty happy. So it was really good to see that. All right, other shows coming up. I don't really know of any other shows. I know there's the North County show and down in Anaheim that's on in the beginning of December. I just recommend check out the Numismatic Association of Southern California's coin show calendar for updates. They have all the shows in California on there all the time. It's nasc.net, so make sure to always check that out. ANA memberships. You guys all need to be members of the ANA. You saw I put a poll in the chat there. It looks like 57% of you say you're members of the ANA. That's cool. 28% of you say you're going to ask me for a membership. So make sure you email me and ask me for a membership. Do you 27%? 15% of you don't even want a free membership to the ANA. We have a deal right now through our club. The ANA has offered us. We can give a $5 membership, 1-year membership to new ANA members. And we've actually had one of our members, this guy right over here, offer to sponsor a few of those for free. So if you want a free membership to the ANA right now and you're not already a member, or if you want to give one as a gift to a niece, nephew, aunt, uncle, brother, sister, mom, whoever, just as it'd make a good holiday gift, send me an email and say, here, I want a free membership. I just need your name, address, email, and they also ask for phone number, which is optional on the.
Yep, it's kind of unlimited at the moment.
Yeah, so there's no reason not to be. This is our national coin club. They do a lot to support our club. We should. They've asked for us to help with their membership by offering us this deal. We got a member of the club willing to even make that a sweeter deal. So take advantage of it. There's no reason not to. JW asked if the 2016 ASE is the lettered edge. No, it's a mint state. It's not the proof. I think only the proof had the lettered edge for 2016. Is that correct, Don?
No, the mint state had it too.
The mint state had it too? Well, I'll have to look at it then when we get to that. I don't think it. I thought it was only the proof.
No, I don't think so. Now I'm hitting Google.
This one I'm looking at, it's in a slab. It definitely has a reeded edge. So, anywho, it's only the proof. Maybe it's the W burnished one. I don't know.
I was going to say, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
2016 W NGC lettered edge MS70. So
yeah,
there is the lettered edge variety. The burnished one. Yep. That's what it is.
But it's not the regular bullion version.
No.
Definitely not. So anyway, make sure to email me for a free ANA membership. Get that in ASAP because I'm sending a big group of applications in probably tomorrow, actually. Going to get those mailed in. Also, what else do we got? That's joining the ANA. Also, we mentioned NASC that has the coin show calendar. You can also join that. They have the California Numismatist, excellent publication, award-winning. Let me know if you want to join that. We can hook you up with a real cheap membership on that as well. David Schwager just donated $10 to the club. Says every collector should join the ANA. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's always some people out there that says, oh, I don't like what the ANA does on this, or 50 years ago, there was this guy that ran the ANA and he did this and I hate it and I'm not support. You know what? Whatever. This is our national coin club. If you're not supporting our national coin club, it's like, how much do you really give a damn about the hobby? That's kind of the way I've always felt about it. And you know what? Not every organization's run perfectly all of the time. Either it's a volunteer organization and you should support it, especially when it doesn't even cost anything to get in it. All right, Don, you got any other announcements?
No, I'm good. I'm ready to go.
All right. Sorry if you guys hear my phone buzzing in the background there. I got it on silent, but I guess everybody's sending me emails for those free memberships, so that's good. I'll check those after the meeting and probably tomorrow as well and get back to people. We have an excellent presentation for you guys. I want to first of all thank Walt Ostermecki for setting up our presentation. He's been doing that for us ever since this pandemic started and getting speakers from all over the country and on all different topics. Tonight we have here, I'll go ahead and add him to the stream now. We have Mr. Kellen Hoard available to speak to us tonight. And Kellen, you are on mute right now, just to remind you. Kellen here, I'll do a little introduction and then we'll turn it over to you, Kellen. But Kellen is the 2021 American Numismatic Association's Young Numismatist of the Year. That's pretty awesome. I'm going to go through a whole bunch of stuff about you, Kellen. If I get anything wrong, definitely interrupt me. But I got to just let everybody know that that's awesome. He's going to be speaking tonight on building a numismatic library, which is a real important topic. With increased digitization, recent shifts in the hobby, and a wide variety of new books and magazines being published, it can be really difficult to identify what you have or what you should include in your numismatic library today. Kellen's going to present on this topic and guide us through the process of building a strong, useful library in the year 2021, one that's going to supplement your collection and remain an essential resource for years to come. My information has that Kellen is 17 years old and a Washington State resident and has already become a distinguished presence and an asset to the hobby and our community. As a practiced writer, Kellen is a passionate and actively involved in the Numismatic Bibliomania Society and the Pacific Northwest Numismatic Association, the latter as a youth activities outreach coordinator and elected a board member. Wow. In 2019, the high schooler led the ANA's Summer Seminar Session 2 Young Numismatists Benefit Auction, which raised several $1,000s for future ANA YN scholarships. Now, I've seen some of those. I haven't been to the summer seminar, but I've seen videos on that. And people spend crazy money for some really cool stuff. And I think I even saw the one that you ran there and that was just really impressive to raise all that kind of money for the ANA and the summer seminar. And I also have information that last year you co-taught an ANA eLearning Academy course on how to keep young collectors actively engaged in the coin hobby. This astute teen effortlessly bridges the gap between collectors young and old, sharing hobby insights with those of all ages. A voracious learner, sharer with a wonderful, quick sense of humor, unstoppable, gracious spirit. Young numismatists like Kellen are going to help secure the future of our coin hobby for many years to come. So I want you guys all to please join me in welcoming Kellen Hoard and make sure you guys pay attention to his presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to ask those in the chat, and we'll get to those at the end of the presentation. All right, Kellen, the floor is all yours, and hopefully I got everything there.
I think I was very kind of you. Thank you, Michael. I'm guessing Walt wrote that.
Walt did write 98% of that, for sure.
Which is very, very sweet of him. He was when I first joined the ANA back in 2014, which, by the way, excellent plug for it earlier. A free membership. I wish I had that back when I first joined. And in case you guys don't know, one of the primary drivers of keeping young collectors involved, one of the biggest indicators and biggest catalysts for keeping collectors involved, young ones especially, is an ANA membership. So even as a gift, excellent choice, because that's going to get them to become lifelong collectors.
Well, Kellen, that reminds me, anybody wanting to take advantage of this membership to ANA, if the person that you want to get a membership for is under 18, also include their date of birth in your email, because there are a lot of young numismatist programs and activities. I think they send you free coins on your birthday, and there's all kinds of other fun stuff. So make sure you take advantage of that.
Absolutely, 100% right. So, Walton I met a while ago. He's been a great guy ever since. So I was thrilled that he asked me to come and speak, and that y'all were interested in that. I haven't ever had much interaction with Glendale Coin Club since y'all are in a different state, but I am one of the things I do is I collect sample slabs, and so it's nice to see David in the comments here too. But I back in 2016, I think I got one of your guys' silver Kangaroo sample slabs on my first ANA World's Fair money.
Yeah.
And that was a thrill. So you guys have been doing great work for a while. I was excited to come speak to y'all. And really, as Michael said, the topic of this presentation is about building that numismatic reference library in 2021. In that a lot has been changing over the last 2 years that we've been in COVID, but also just in general this last decade about how we approach building out what our learning in the hobby. How do we approach engaging with the hobby and engaging with the educational side of it? And so I've been collecting numismatic literature since probably about 2016 here. Like Michael said, I'm a member of the Numismatic Bibliomania Society, which is dedicated to, of course, collecting numismatic literature. And I've been able to learn quite a bit through that. And so I thought I would share with you all a little bit of what I've learned about how to, the approach towards doing that and how you can do that in your own life. So let me just switch on to the next slide here. So first, let's talk about the importance of a reference library. What is important in the first place about having a reference library? Why do we need one? And really, to start off with, there's a pretty famous quote, and most of us have probably heard this, which is buy the book before the coin. And of course, that's kind of talking about how before you go out and purchase those main pieces for your collection, those coins or tokens or medals or paper money or whatever else it is that you collect, you learn about it first. You kind of get an idea of what that piece is all about and the historical context behind it and the pricing context behind it. Know what you're buying before you go out and buy it. That'll make you a better buyer. It'll make you make smarter decisions, and it'll make you appreciate that piece more. So that quote's been around for a while, but it's important to not just solely acquire information about what you're collecting actively, but actually have a broad base of knowledge about the hobby as a whole as well. That's going to benefit you in the long run and pay dividends in multiple ways, which I'll talk about later in this presentation. But it's important to have that broader foundation of numismatic knowledge, in addition to, of course, greater specialized knowledge about whatever series you're pursuing. And so building that more broad reference library not only allows you to become a better collector in terms of making better decisions in your purchasing and better appreciating what you have, but it also makes you a better learner. It makes you be able to absorb content better, and it makes you a better educator. And this is a crucial aspect as well, is that I have a personal philosophy that basically whatever you learn in collecting, you should be trying to pass on as soon as you can, basically, right? There's a huge demand for knowledge, not only from young collectors, but new collectors as a whole who are trying to learn more about the hobby. And a great way to keep them engaged and make them better numismatists is to pass on your inevitable wealth of knowledge to these other people. And you likely have knowledge from your own experience that maybe isn't written down somewhere and that you can pass on, but also maybe you can find a reference library. And in turn, again, you can pass it on to new collectors. A quality reference library not only will, again, supplement your core collection, which I imagine is likely falling within the realms of coins or tokens or paper money or metals, but also it will actually become quite valuable in its own right. It doesn't just become an auxiliary, it actually becomes sometimes a core collection in addition, and with both monetary value, sentimental value, and educational value. It tends to grow quicker than you'd think. My library has grown a little bit quicker than I intended over the years, just because it's become a passion, even when it wasn't originally. Originally, it was just meant as a supplemental piece. So let's talk about where we're at right now in 2021, because we come into any kind of unique area at a unique time in the hobby. There's lots of new publications that are being put out, both tangible, physical publications like we're familiar with from Whitman and from all these other publications, but also virtual ones. A lot of authors, a lot of numismatic authors are realizing right now that it makes more sense expense-wise to actually publish initially virtually. And that way they're not having any kind of upfront cost that they have to try and sell a certain number of books in order to make back that cost, but they can just make pure profit, or if they or donate whatever those proceeds are to charity or whatever their goal is, that there's none of that upfront cost. And that really creates a new environment for us as book collectors. How do you collect a virtual book per se, and where does the value of the information meet the value of the tangible book itself? And so, of course, these new publications are coming from established publishers, like I mentioned, like Whitman. They're also coming from self-publishers. A lot of the time, those virtual books are being self-published, but in a high-quality format. A lot of authors are coming up with very high-quality self-published books. And we also see that there's major shifts in the hobby due to COVID-19. Of course, there's been some increased interest in prices in the short term, and that was largely in 2020. We saw A&A membership skyrocket. I think it was like a 30% increase or something crazy like that. And auction prices were going crazy, and dealers were having mixed success, but those who were having success. So we were seeing that in the short term, but the question is there long-term sustainability to this increase? Through 2021, through 2022? How about after COVID, when people aren't stuck at home that much? We just don't know. So that's a question that we need to keep in mind. Another one is, will these new collectors, these new ones who have become engaged in the hobby, both at the top end of the price range and the low end of the price range, those who got engaged in the hobby during COVID, are they going to become anything more than casual collectors? One way they can do that is by joining the ANA, but another way is just to become, start approaching numismatics in a more scholarly way, learning more about it, buying that book before the coin, and making sure that they are really engaging with the educational aspect as well, which is one of the most fun parts of the hobby. And also the question is, how will organizations respond? And this refers to both corporations like PCGS and Heritage Auctions, but also it goes into nonprofits like the ANA, like the ANS, like the Glendale Coin Club. How are they going to adjust as we shift both into COVID and out of COVID again? And how does that affect their operations? It's something to keep in mind. Another thing to keep in mind where we're at right now is that the digitization of information is becoming more and more prevalent. Things like the Numen portal and social media outlets like the PCGS forums or Instagram. There's a huge numismatic community on Instagram. These are things that are going to be really adjusting how new collectors and old collectors are taking information, and it makes us question what is valuable enough to have in a physical reference library when there's so much information online. And there are things, we'll get to that, but it adds further complications. And for those of you who don't know the Numen Numismatic portal, you can go to it at nnp.wstl.edu through the Washington University in St. Louis, and that has thousands of books and auction catalogs and periodicals digitized through the Eric P. Noman Foundation. And that is a great reference if you're ever looking for information on basically any topic. So that is, they've been a major force in the digitization of numismatic information over the last several years. Of course, there's newsletters too. For those of you who aren't subscribed to the eSylum, it's definitely worth subscribing. It's free. They have like 6,000 or 7,000 subscribers now. It's a weekly newsletter that puts out great information about the hobby, and that's another digitization of information. And of course, then there's like static websites. And that's everything from coin facts to any kind of website where people are straight up publishing information on there, not necessarily social media, but publishing information that for people to learn. And again, that's kind of, you can just Google it and get these websites that have these great information. So that's definitely something to consider as we build a library in 2021. And all of these above sources are great sources of information, but they still leave that essential question: what should I include in my reference library then? So that's why I'm here to talk to you guys tonight. And really the first thing to think about is that there's actually already a really good starting place. There's already a good place for you to begin building your numismatic reference library. And that is what the Numismatic Bibliomania Society made back in 2007. And of course, I was not a member back then. I was 3 years old at the time. But they built in 2007 a top 100 list of United States numismatic literature. And that includes books and auction catalogs and periodicals. And this list is really, truly fantastic. It has all the key things that you need to know with both good information and ones that have historically shaped the past of the hobby. They're all generally pretty affordable. Of course, there's some that are a little bit more expensive and that require outlays, but usually you can buy even reprints of those if you're just looking for that good information, and that's not too bad. I'm working on a 17-year-old budget who doesn't have a full-time job, and I've been able over the last 2 years to build out about 80% of the list, and that's me not even working full-time to get those. So it's very affordable, and I imagine I'll be able to get the rest of the last 20% in short order here. So that's a great aspect of the top 100 list as well. And the top 100 list provides that solid core library with both breadth and depth. So, and this is a key thing in the reference library, which we'll get into later, but you want both a wide swath of information, but also where it's not just giving you surface level information. You want some kind of depth to it where you're really getting information that can give you a leg up in the market and educationally. And several of these resources on the top 100 list are digitized in places like the Newman portal, but a majority are not, which is another great reason to include them in that reference library. Is that they once you buy that source, that's pretty much all where the information's at is in that physical copy versus an online free platform. So the place you can find it is by going to coinbooks.org. That's the NBS website. And coinbooks.org, there's a link there that says NBS Wiki. Click on that, and the list is right there. And so that's a great place. You can even click on each individual item on the list and tell you all the different editions. It's a comprehensive resource, and it's fantastic. And just as a little image, that's kind of what the list looks like, the first 31. And you can see there's a wide variety of things. And they were ranked based on how many people voted that they should be included in the top 100. So top one up there is Walter Breed's Encyclopedia, but there's also Early Coins of America by Crosby, which covers colonial coins. There's Numismatist, which is the ANA's magazine, great reference. There's Penny Whimsy about early American coppers. The John Ford collection, which was a fantastic 21-part auction catalog that covered his magnificent collection. So you can see there's tons of different stuff about patterns and about minting and about colonial coins and about paper money. So there's a really good swath, silver dollars, everything you can think of. It's worth investigating this further at coinbooks.org. So let's talk about a little bit further about what kind of books should be in this reference library as you're going through and building it up in the year 2021. With books, you want to focus on breadth first. You don't want, you want to focus on getting a breadth of information covered in your library, however that big it is. I would personally recommend 2 books per subject. And subject is a broad term, intentionally so, because building a library really should be based on what kind of path you want to pursue. But generally, subject can entail like a specific series or a specific country. However you want to approach that, that's up to you. But when you're buying those 2 books per subject, you generally want one that's broad. So, for example, if I was buying books on double eagles, I would want one maybe on the broad history of double eagles and maybe their production throughout time. And then I would also want one specific one, maybe about specifically St. Gaudens double eagles or specifically the 1933, whatever it is. I would want one that's broad and one that's specific that not only allows me both breadth and depth, but you want to focus on breadth first. And that's going to be key. And so again, you can do breadth based on subject and a wide variety of series and a wide variety of countries and paper money and tokens and metals and coins, a wide variety in that regard. You can also do breadth of type. So you not only want books that are about pricing on any individual series, but you also want books that have history and context and artistic and historical connections that these pieces have. And that's not going to only be more interesting to you and maybe reading material, but it's also going to actually increase your knowledge beyond just the hard numbers. And that's what engages a lot of new collectors in the hobby too. So it's a great thing to pack down. You can also do, honestly, breadth of publishing date. A lot of good stuff was not just published in the last 5 years, but was published a long time ago. The keynote reference for $1804 was actually a book published in 1962 by Ken Burset and Eric Newman called The Fantastic $1804, and it remains basically the standard reference today with only a few minor updates. So you don't just have to limit yourself to the last 10 years. You can go back and look at what are really the best references and resources for what I'm trying to learn about. And Fantastic $1804, by the way, is on the top 100 list. And then after you've kind of built out breadth, then you can focus on depth. And what I'd really recommend for depth is first build out that depth in the areas that you're interested in. So if you are really interested in Buffalo nickels, build out your reference library in the realm of Buffalo nickels and get several different resources on that series from a variety of different angles and really build out that section because that's your interest, of course. You don't want a ton of books that are completely outside your interest. So buy these ones that are in your interest and really become an expert on that knowledge. And one of the great things is, at least for me personally, and a lot of collectors I've talked to, their interests change throughout the years. So as your interests change throughout the years, you can continue to build out your reference libraries in these different areas. So maybe in 2020, you love Buffalo nickels. In 2021, you love Indian head cent. In 2022, you love large size notes, whatever it is. Each time you find a new interest, build out your reference library on that subject. And then before long, you're going to have really a great set of resources on a bunch of your interests. And also pictures can be key. What are the really big benefits of having books in person? That you can get those nice high quality images and pictures that may not have been there before, even plates as well. And while a lot of the pictures are now available online, this is something to take in consideration when you're building out and choosing which books to build in breadth is, do they have really nice illustrations or pictures that will help my learning? And then there's a thing among book collectors called Louisville versus Lawrenceville. And this was publicized by the numismatist Joel Oros. And there were two very famous book collectors, numismatic book collectors, one of whom lived in Louisville and one of whom still lives in Lawrenceville. And the Louisville collector was a guy who really enjoyed the nice binding on books, right? They looked visually beautiful. They were the deluxe editions. They were the gorgeous ones from the outside. The Lawrenceville style, and the collector who lives there now, was a guy who cared more about the information more than the appearance of the book. And so when you're going and collecting your books, you should decide beforehand how you want to pursue this. Do you want to be buying these nicely, beautifully bound books? Do you care about how it looks and having these deluxe editions with these nice, gorgeous covers? Or do you care more about the information? And and really getting as much educational content out of you as you can, even if it's kind of like a beat up book. A lot of reference libraries, maybe you care more about the Lawrenceville style. Maybe you care more about having just that information purely. But also, many of you, I imagine, might care about having a visually appealing library as well. And it's worth also discussing later how those nicer libraries will maybe retain value as digitization increases, is that people will always be in the market for nicer bound, beautiful literature. But that's a conversation for a different day. Yeah, and I kind of mentioned that in that bullet point. Let's talk about periodicals as well. So with periodicals, you actually want to focus on depth first, not breadth. Periodicals, it should be a surprise to no one, take up a ton of space. If they're weekly or monthly, they are taking up a lot of your bookshelf space, and whoever you live with in the house may not be thrilled when you add a third or a fourth bookshelf just to hold your periodicals. You don't want that. So you're going to want to focus on depth first. And also, it's worth considering that periodicals are often, honestly, easier to use when digitized. You can usually digitally search for a piece of text from 20 years ago, like on the Numismatist Digital Archive. When you're an A&A member, you get access to all the numismatists ever made, and so you can search a specific term, like a Columbus commemorative coin or whatever it is, and you can find great information that way. So that's something to keep in mind as well when you're building out your reference library with periodicals. So it's important to think about what you want in your reference library versus what you actually want to read. You can subscribe, for example, to Weekly Coin World or Numismatic News or the Numismatist or whatever else it might be, and you can happily read those, and there's great information. But think about carefully what you want to retain. And in terms of subscribe to as many as you want, but maybe once you're done with them, so as not to build a shelf space, maybe donate it to your local library or to your local dentist office or wherever people are going to really appreciate that. And then keep the select ones that you really want to keep. Maybe it's individual issues that are really appealing to you and interesting to you, or maybe it's a whole periodical series, but are ones that are more limited or that are really, again, important to you. And it's also worth noting that they don't have to be current periodicals. A lot of really great information in periodicals was issued decades ago. Q. David Bowers put out some great things like the Rare Coin Review, and there's a lot of really good information that was issued decades ago in limited periodical series that are no longer made today, but still have great information perhaps for your series. Let's talk about auction catalogs as well. So again, you need to decide whether you want to pursue the Louisville or Lawrenceville style first. Do you want these really nicely like deluxe auction catalogs, or are you just looking for them for information, maybe pictures? That's something to consider in the first place. Older catalogs are actually really great. They have usually plates or images that are really gorgeous and can help you actually track provenance on your pieces. So if you have a really nice piece and you know where it came from a collector and you know he bought it from an auction, you can go to that auction. You can see who used to own this and track it all the way back. And that's part of the joy of the hobby, at least for me, is to actually be able to track back who owned my pieces in the past. It's a great time. With newer catalogs, you want to be more careful. The ones that are issued by Heritage and Stack Bowers today and whoever else, they're often available online in the first place. And so that information is readily available for free there. But if you do choose to purchase, be targeted in your approach of what you want to buy. Maybe just buy the auction catalogs that have your pieces in them. But given how much space they take up, how heavy they are, and how available they are online, that's something maybe you don't want to hold on to as much. The older catalogs are going to be the ones that are less often digitized, have that more information of tracking, and retain their value as well. So it's up to you to decide on auction catalogs whether you want to pursue breadth or depth, totally depending on how you're choosing to buy those catalogs. But it's also a filter through which to think about your auction catalogs is, do I want to pursue breadth or depth in this regard? And then let's talk about ephemera. So ephemera is letters and advertisements and any kind of miscellaneous paper, basically, that has information. It's actually one of the most fun and informative parts of any library, particularly for bibliophiles like myself. I have some really cool letters from numismatists who wrote to other famous numismatists about things that I care about. I'm from the Seattle area, and I have one from Numismatic Book Collector to another to the ANA president about holding a convention in Seattle and whether they would be able to maybe sell books to each other there. And so it's fun stuff like that that really does make it a good time. But Ephemera's value in a reference library is somewhat limited. It's miscellaneous basically by definition. So if you want to focus on building a small collection of ephemera for your library, focus it pretty narrowly on your collecting interests, where you're seeing actually collectors discussing your collecting interests, or it can help inform your actual collecting, that core collection. Contemporary ads or even manuscripts or letters from collectors can be really useful references to you in your learning and your passing on of education. But be more targeted in that approach and think about what actual value does it add to your reference library. And I will never be one to discourage you from adding more to your library, but if you're really just looking to build that core reference library, it's something to keep in mind. Another really important to think about is reference libraries can grow. Building your core reference library with that top 100 and the aforementioned books and periodicals and catalogs and ephemera is the most important step, but reference libraries are as flexible and large as those you're living with will allow you to do. I live with my parents, of course, and they've been very generous. They're a very book-centric family, so they've been very generous in terms of letting my bookshelves expand out beyond my room. But maybe you have a spouse who would not agree as much, or maybe you have some dogs who wouldn't agree as much with that either. So it's important to keep those you live with in mind. But reference libraries really can be flexible. It doesn't have to be just 2 books a subject. You can pursue this as much as you want. Or maybe you would say, I want to have every single periodical I subscribe to on my bookshelf. Totally fine as well. And maybe you want to grow it well beyond books and periodicals and catalogs and ephemera. Maybe you really want to build it out significantly, and that's totally fine too. That's how libraries should be. And that's actually how they retain both educational and monetary value. And one great way to think about how your reference library can grow is whenever you acquire a new piece, think about what kind of book can go with that, or what kind of piece of literature can go with that and grow around it. A big thing among younger collectors now is I've noticed they tend to build boxes of 20, right? They tend to choose 20 nicer coins over hundreds of less nice coins, and they're really building up as high quality pieces as they can. And so a great thing to correlate with that strategy is each time you buy a piece in your box of 20, it's only 20 pieces. So maybe buy some kind of, or acquire some kind of piece of literature that can educate you about that. Maybe it's just a clipping of an article from a numismatist from 2008, and that is it. But build your library around the piece that you have and build out this kind of expanse. And what that's actually great for later, not only educationally, it's actually exhibiting, which I'll talk about I think on the next slide, but that's great. So where do you find this reference library? How do you even get the pieces for this to build this out? One great place is numismatic booksellers, and there's some great ones. Ones I would write down are Colby and Fanning, Kolb and Fanning, and also Charlie Davis, both of whom have websites, both of whom have excellent websites where you can find these pieces. And not only if they don't even have it on the website, you can actually usually email them and they'll be happy to track it down for you. So that's a great place in the first place. The internet, honestly, great. Google your book, see who's selling it. And enough said in that regard. Dealers from different specialties. So if you're a big Morgan collector, maybe you go to a dealer who's known for Morgan dollars, and they will likely have recommendations for what pieces of educational content and literature you should pursue for your library. They will likely have things in mind, and they'll likely help you track it down too. If they don't have any suggestions for books that you should read about the subject, maybe give yourself a bit of a gut check of how much they are actually maybe knowing about the subject. But they will likely almost always have recommendations. And I found some of my best ones from people who know their subject well. And a side bonus is that when you're meeting with these dealers to talk about their specialties, you're building that basic connections with dealers and that knowledge directly in conversations with those dealers in that wide variety of fields. So those connections will pay dividends down the road. And also, you'll learn a lot in the process of tracking down these books. And you demonstrate yourself as a person who wants to learn more, which is always very impressive, in my experience, to dealers. You can always connect with the NVS. Like I said, their website is coinbooks.org. You can shoot them an email. They usually have to help you track down things. And then not only can they help you acquire, but they can help you decide what to pursue in the first place. All of these above can help you decide what to pursue in the first place, illustrating for you what's that path learning as best you can about your specialties, and what's that path for building out that reference library as a whole. Let's talk about how to store your reference library too. I've seen way too many stories of people who live in southern Florida, and the humidity gets to their libraries and ruins their books, and obviously that's terrible. So let's think about how we want to approach this. So first of all, get more shelf space than you need. Again, these things expand, and it's not a good feeling to have only like one shelf and then you run out of space and it starts piling up everywhere. Keep it organized, keep it neat, get more shelves than you need, and it will allow you to expand your educational learning and educational retaining these literature very well. And keep your shelves and keep your bookshelves close. It's a reference library. You should hopefully fairly often be going to this library and opening up the books or the magazines on there, or the auction catalogs, and learning about it for whatever reason, whether that be buying and selling or writing an article or making an exhibit or whatever else it might be. So don't put it in some distant basement or high up in the attic somewhere. Keep it close. And figure out an organization system that works for you, alphabetical, subject-based, color-based if you want. There's lots of different ways, but keep it organized as well. You want to protect them from the elements, like I said, humidity, but also cats. I have 2 cats. There have been some not so great experiences with them on the lower shelves where they find out. So make sure to keep in mind any pets or young children who perhaps could provide some damage to that. And then beyond beyond a reference library. So let's talk about the next step. So reference libraries tend to have to become quite independent and valuable in their own right, not just as a corollary, but as an actual independent collection. And that's not a bad thing. As I mentioned in the previous slide, expand a reference library if you want. Don't feel limited in terms of, oh, these are only the things that are like say big, thick tomes that I'll use for reference. Actually bring in, if you want, content that you're very interested in reading. There's a lot of really great numismatic books which you can pick up at night or at any time, read through it, learn a great bit, and really become a better, more scholarly collector, which is always a great thing. And feel free to utilize your reference library for other purposes. Like I said, exhibiting is great. Books tend to get not bad marks from exhibit judges when they see that you're having this corollary content along with your main pieces. And sharing. You don't need to keep your reference library, of course, just for yourself, but share, whether it be the books themselves or what you learned from the books with other collectors. And also, I guess, for child art projects, if you suddenly have a distaste for a book and no longer like it, maybe give it to your child or grandchild, let them draw on it a little bit, and then it becomes kind of a bit of an art piece. So that really does end the presentation. I hope that it gives you more of a mindset to go into as you are as you're approaching building a reference library, and as you're going out to shows, as shows come back, and conventions and seminars, that mindset of how do I constantly be looking for ways to increase my base and foundation of knowledge and build up my reference library and make it really a key thing that not only supplements my collection, but actually drives my collection forward, makes me a better collector, a better learner, and a better educator. So I believe that's it, Michael. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them as well.
That was great, Kellen. Really appreciate that. Lots of good stuff to consider in there, and lots of good resources for people to go out to start building their numismatic reference library, at least beyond like maybe the red book or so. That was one thing that I was kind of thinking of during this is if anybody else has questions, make sure to ask now in chat so we can all we can get the answers. But while we're waiting for those questions to come in, I get asked all the time when I do YouTube videos or when I do presentations at coin clubs, like which books I recommend to a beginner. And I always just say, yeah, get a red book. And I often, like even anybody watching right now, if you want a free red book, let me know. It won't be a brand new one. I got tons of 1, 2, 3-year-old red books, brand new. I'll mail you a red book. I always give those out. But and maybe I tell people to join the ANA to get the Numismatist every month. But beyond that, is there like 1 or 2 books that you recommend that not only like that you would personally recommend for a beginner, but that those of us that are approached by beginners all the time can start recommending?
Oh, so and ones like I would recommend to new collectors then? Yeah.
Like other than the red book, because we always say, just get the red book. It's like $15 and it's got everything about U.S. coins. But beyond that, like what would we what would you say we recommend to people?
Absolutely. So what I have in the past since sixth grade. I'm in 12th grade this year, and since about sixth grade, I've been going to my school and talking to students there about coins, and they all know I'm passionate about it. And I have a whole other presentation for a different day about how I've used social media, especially to draw in new collectors, especially ones from my school. But what I found in the course of talking to a lot of students, both at my school and elsewhere, is that they're really drawn by the stories. They love the history, they love the stories. They're not so drawn by the prices. And so a red book is an essential reference. Every beginner collector should have it, and it's a very important one to have. But in terms of engaging and compelling them with the hobby for long term, what I found is that books that teach about the stories behind the collecting and more of that narrative format are going to be really the ones that drive it. And so some great examples. One of the first ones I got was it was like a kid's guide to collecting coins. That's especially for younger collectors. That gives kind of that basic foundation. But if you're looking for more general kind of reference, getting started with the hobby, there's been some great ones by Warman. I'm blanking on the specific titles there, but there was one just like a guide to U.S. coin collecting, which talked not only about show etiquette and the social aspect and buying and selling in the hobby, but was really just a great reference about collecting and good practice. And really made me quite engaged with it. So what you're looking for is both a pricing book, like the red book to get them started, but also that narrative book that will kind of get them a jump start and hopefully your mentorship.
Great. Cool. Appreciate that. Paula, who's live coin Q&A here on YouTube, wanted to know what your favorite book is.
My favorite book. Oh, that's a hard one to choose. I think anyone who is a true book collector maybe can't choose a number one favorite. But in my collection specifically, let me think here. There's one of the top ones for sure is one of my first big purchases. I bought this auction catalog from a Colby and Fanning auction, and I'd never spent. I spent about $200 in the catalog, which is way more than any of you really need to spend on any individual book for your reference library. But I spent $200 acquiring this. It was an old auction catalog, and I was like 13 at the time. I was just thrilled to be able to have like a piece of like rare literature there. And so that's always had a bit of sentimental value to me, as well as genuine reference value.
Great. Nubs Hunt Treasure asks, what's your favorite things to collect?
Yeah. So, and I did look up the name of the good beginner book. It's called Warman's U.S. Coin Collecting by Alan Herbert. That one is great. It's like 150 pages, 200 pages, something like that. That's a great starting place. What I collect is a little bit broad. So numismatic literature, obviously. I also do sample slabs, which is why it's nice to see David here. Michael and I have done a little bit in the past as well, I know. But the main thing for me right now is actually just kind of a broadly umbrella term, which is things that I think just have like cool history. And it's not a very specific thing by design. And there's a couple reasons for that. I am in the hobby because I love the history behind it. I love the stories. And so I look for coins or tokens or paper money or medals or whoever else it is or whatever else it is that give insight into a specific time period in history and that have interesting story behind their creation and interesting context. There's a really great quote by a famous collector in the 20th century who's talking about how every aspect of a coin, the size and the designs and the metal and the purity and the weight and the mint mark and everything on a coin indicates some historical context to it. And so there's a reason for everything. And so I always love learning about it from that angle. And so part of what I've done with being able to buy pieces myself I love with these cool stories is on social media, I go out and post these and I post about the stories. And what I've been able to do is not only help build somewhat of a community on Instagram, for example, is a huge community of young collectors, not only community who is looking to become approach the hobby in a more scholarly way by learning about these stories, but also a group of non-collectors like people at my school who previously knew nothing about coins, and they come up to me afterwards and they say, I had no idea numismatics was this fascinating. And so I love being able to buy pieces I can post online and be able to share this educational content with people. If any of you guys are on Instagram, I'm at Kellen Coin, and so I post, a couple times a month, and I'm able to really spread knowledge in an effective way and in an engaging way that I found keeps young collectors engaged long term.
Very cool. Very cool. Bob Thompson had just asked, what was the first book you got for your numismatic library, and like why and how did you get it?
Oh, it's probably a red book. I don't remember exactly, but it was probably a red book, as it is for most collectors, right? And part of the unfortunate thing that I see is when I go to like Barnes and Noble, for example, they have a coin collecting section, and I go there, but it's very limited to pricing books, right? It's red books, it's blue books, it's maybe other miscellaneous, lesser known pricing books, but they don't have many of these narrative, interesting books like what compelled me. And so I wish that they at those sections, at those chain bookstores, they actually had a much broader section which is a great driver of the hobby. I know that there was a push a while back to get the Numismatist, which is ANA's magazine, and which has some of the best research articles onto newsstands, right? Because people are passing by these, kids and adults are passing by these and browsing them. And so when you have things that hook people's eyes and have these great, compelling stories, that's a great way to get new collectors involved.
Yeah. One more we got here is Dennis Rockland. I was asking, what other programs do you have available online that you've done? And he mentioned one about using social media, maybe?
Yes, I've had the chance over COVID. The one silver lining to COVID has been I've gotten a chance to talk to a lot of groups like yours about various subjects. So if you're interested in those, I've done a couple for the ANA, like the ANA eLearning Academy. I've done 2 or 3 for them. You can find that on the ANA YouTube channel. I've done a couple for the Newman Portal, 3, I think, at this point, which you can find at nnp.westfield.edu at the Newman Portal. I've done a couple different ones for local clubs, which I don't think were recorded, but it's been all over the place. If you just look me up online, my name's Kellen Hoard, Hoard, then you can actually hopefully find some of those videos, hopefully learn a little bit. I think there's some about getting young collectors engaged, which I know Abby spoke about last time. There's some about social media, there's some about literature, there's some about the power of stories. So it's a mix, and I hope you learn something.
Okay, well, very good. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and let you go for the night, Kellen. We really appreciate it. As a token of our thanks from the club, as long as you email me your mailing address, I'm going to send you one of these. This is our 2019 60th anniversary club medal in silver. This was done by Dan Carr of the Moonlight Mint, and it's got the Pacific Railway medal reversed. It's really cool, and I think we only made 140 of these, so I'll send one of these your way. And,
I appreciate it, Michael.
Because I know you like sample slabs. I don't know if you have this one. You probably don't.
I haven't seen that one before.
This one's for a Glendale Coin Club show we did years ago. It's one of our Coin Club's wooden nickels from 1977 in an ANX sample slab.
I love it.
And that's our old logo from way back in the 70s, the GCC. I don't think back in the 70s they could have imagined that you guys would be on YouTube here sharing that. Yeah, they would be showing this wooden nickel, and then it'd be actually in a holder from some company.
That's exactly that as well here too. I appreciate all the kind comments as well. Thank you all. I really love the hobby, and so I'm very happy able to speak to you all, and hopefully I'll make it down to California someday and maybe see you all in person.
Very good. And one more special thanks to Walt Ostromecki for putting us together and helping us get all of our presentations while we've been away from our normal meeting location during COVID. So
absolutely. Thank you, Mike.
All right. Thanks, Kellen. Appreciate it. Bye-bye. All right, Don. That was a great presentation.
Absolutely.
Have you been writing down everybody's names for these wonderful free giveaways that we have?
I have.
Okay, well, if you have not yet got your name into the drawing, or you don't think Don's got a ticket filled out for you, make sure you say something in chat and let Don know. We're going to go ahead and do show and tell, so you still got a few minutes to get into the drawing if you don't think you're in there. Lucky James sent an email for the Red Book. Yeah, definitely, James. Again, I get Red Books donated to us, or donated to the club mostly, but I get some just donated to me personally from other people on YouTube. And if you're a newer collector and you don't have a Red Book and you say, why does he keep talking about the damn Red Book? Well, let me send you one. I got them. It's not going to be a 2022 Red Book. Might be a 2021, might be a 2019, might even be a 2016. Unless you're collecting brand new coins like that were made in the last 5 years, all the information in there is going to be the same anyway, whether you get one that's a year old or 5 years old. So we'd be happy to send one your way. If you're a newer collector, just send me an email and we'll get that taken care of. And while you're going ahead and getting a Red Book, make sure to send me an email to get one of those free ANA memberships if you're not yet an ANA member. Because we've had deals on ANA memberships in the past offered through the ANA, like, half price sometimes, or especially around the holidays, but it's never been free before. So I don't think it's ever been free. So it's really $5 for a club, but then we got a sponsor here on the panel with us that's covering the $5 fee for a few people. So absolutely. Well, yeah, you can. Yeah, as they say, that kid was sharp, says Steve. Yeah, you can see why he was picked as the Young Numismatist of the Year this year. So it's really cool that we had him be able to present to us. And again, thanks to Walt for putting us in touch and booking that topic for us. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and do some show and tell, Don. And I need to figure out how to share my screen. I always got to remember how to do this. Let's see. I got to bring up the first show and tell that came in was from Greg Berkovitz. We all know Greg, don't we? Greg Berkovitz. He donated quite a few of our auction items tonight, too. So thank you, Greg. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Make sure I share the right screen because I got a couple screens open. And let's just go ahead and open up that right there. This one here came in from Greg. He just basically emailed us this information. Well, first of all, he didn't email just that. There's one more thing he shared. It was this PDF file. Is that going to open up? Let's maximize that. He sent me this. He said he just read this in the LA Times, October 22nd, about a rare colonial coin that came in from auction up for auction. And basically it's a 1652 New England shilling, which if you have a red book, it's like basically the coin that's like on page 1 or once you first start getting into colonial coins, it's like on the first page or two. It's like the first, colonial coin of the U.S. or of America at that time. It wasn't the U.S. yet. But basically it was found in England, and it was in a box of a whole bunch of cool coins, and they went going for auction, and they estimate it's going to be about $300,000. And at the time it was minted, it was worth, it was a shilling, 12 pence. So nice little increase in value there. Says there's only about 40 of the coins known, and this one's in actually really nice condition compared to many of the others. And here's another article he sent about that. And here's a picture of the coin and in the tin that it was found in. And in this tin, the article doesn't really go into it too much, but that's the coin right there. All it is a chunk of silver with NE stamped in one side and then the Roman numeral 12 on the other. But there's some continental currency there. There's 2 of those. There's a Libertas Americana medal. There's like some real valuable coins in here. I think that there's a chain cent in here. So whoever put this collection together did so probably many years ago and was picking some good stuff out. So really cool, Greg, that Greg shared that with us. All right. Thanks for sending that in, Greg. Next up is from, let's see, who are we going to do next? Let's do Steve Sussman's show and tell. I'll make this full screen. I don't need to have us on the side there. Sorry about that. This here, Steve sent this in. Let me read what he said. Steve says his main interest is Spanish colonial coins, but he was at Disney World in 2017 standing in line for a ride, bumped into the Great Britain Queen's Beast series on his smartphone, saw the Dragon of Wales coin and thought it was pretty. Not much history, but he said each one of them, the coins in the series, is a stylized version of one of the heraldic Queen's Beast statues, presented at the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II, representing her royal line of ancestry. And he said this one's pretty noticeable as the first 2-ounce silver coin of the United Kingdom, which is pretty cool. And said a lot of them were sold to large bullion dealers, so many of them weren't available to collectors right away. But he went ahead and bought this one and held on to it, and he loves it. And yeah, very, very cool. So he's going to keep holding on to his. And he says the value's increased substantially on these, especially in MS-70 since they were issued. There's the one side of it there, and there is the other there. 5 pounds, but it's only 2 ounces. How can it be 5 pounds if it's 2 ounces? Don, I don't understand that. 5 pounds with 2 ounces. All right. Anyway, that's a dumb joke. Next up, show and tell. Who we got next? We got one from Archaeology Mikey, but I got to go ahead and stop sharing my screen here because Mikey's is going to be a little bit tricky. Nothing from Archaeology Mikey is going to be super easy, right? Nothing. Not at all. We're going to have to start a poll here because he wants you guys all to guess the grade of his coin. So let me go ahead and start this up real quick, and then I'll show the coin. Guess the grade. And then I'm going to put in some choices. This will just take just a second. It'll be fun. Trust me. I think. And don't enter your guess until you see the coins. Okay, I've done that. Now I can go back to sharing my screen. Share screen. right there. Share. You're seeing the chat again. That's not what I want to share. Let's go in here. Here's the coin. This is Mikey's 1887. 1887 Morgan silver dollar. What grade do you think this 1887 Morgan silver dollar is? There is the obverse. Let's flip over and show the reverse. Guess the grade for Mikey. Hopefully this poll is working. I don't know if it is. I can't have this up and the poll at the same time, so counting on it. Counting on it working. What do you guys think? We'll show the obverse again. Let's go back. Obverse. There you go. 1887 Morgan silver dollar. And there is the reverse once more. Let's go ahead and minimize this and see what the poll's looking like. Looks like we got 27 votes, 22% are MS62, 34 tied for 62 and 63. It's a nice little bell curve there, huh, with only 4 choices. That's about how it should work. 35 votes are in. Let's go ahead and show the reveal. You guys are pretty close to it. Here it is. You guys ready? Boom. Mikey's show and tell. An MS63 Morgan silver dollar. And I think he just picked this up recently from one of his coin shops, and he says the shop owner gave him a little bit of a deal on it. So Mikey likes Morgan silver dollars, and I know he likes slabbed coins. So thanks for sharing that, Mikey. Appreciate that. All right, Don, do you have show and tell tonight?
Just the nickel that's right there. It's just a 1913 Type 1. Just it's got very pretty reds and little bits of bluey on it.
Yeah, it's got some like streaky looking toning, huh?
Uh-huh.
Very cool. What's the other side look like? Are you going to show us?
I can. It's nowhere near as nice.
Is that why you're showing us the obverse? Okay.
Yeah. It's nice, but it's not.
And tell everybody what the difference between Type 1 and Type 2 is, because half the people in the room have no idea what you're talking about, I bet.
All right, right at the bottom, you can see there's a raised mound that the 5 cents is on, and a Type 1, which of course I don't have one at hand.
That is a Type 1.
A Type 2, which I don't have at hand, is there's the mound isn't raised senses, it's kind of cut and it's inside the coin.
Yeah, there's like a straight line that goes all the way from rim to rim instead of the mound at the bottom. So that's the difference.
Right.
Very cool. Looks nice though.
Yeah.
Just a touch of circulation, huh?
Slight. Yes.
Yeah, nice. Very good. I guess I could do show and tell. Let me go ahead and do this. And I guess the one thing I got lying around here that I didn't show off to y'all yet was this one right here. It's a little Panama pill that's been graded. 1904 coin from Panama. I could probably make this larger, but it really won't help that much because the coin's so small. It's the smallest coin minted by the United States Mint. The United States minted these for Panama, and this is an MS66 example, and I can show it to you a little better. Let me turn on this microscope and see if this works. And that is the coin right there. I don't even have to zoom out. The whole coin fits under the microscope. So it's a 1904. They call it a Panama pill because it's a really tiny coin, but it's thick. It's not like thin as like a cent or a dime. It's a little bit thicker, and it's like a little pill. And there's that side, and then the reverse looks like that. 90% silver, 1.25 grams, which I believe is half the weight of a dime, if I'm correct. But it's a lot. It's less than half the diameter of a dime because it's a lot thicker. So I don't know. I always like these, and it's a nice high grade. It's tied for highest graded, so pretty much had to have it. Paid way too much probably, but that's okay. It's okay. Sometimes that's what you got to do. All righty. So we got that. What else do we got going on? That's all the show and tell I got. Don.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Well,
but that's okay.
I sent you some pictures of the show. You can always show those if you like.
Oh, geez.
I did.
Let's see if we can pull that up. To my email?
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's see. Oh, boy. Let's see. I can try to show that. let's see. Well, I got to download these first. Hold on just a second. If you want to go ahead and ask them all to do the raffle one more time, we can do that.
Yes, everybody, if you haven't put your name in the chat at all, you've just been lurking, make sure to say hi. I've gone up and down chat 2 or 3 times just to make sure I didn't miss anybody. But yeah, say hi, and I'll
There's the 2 pictures you sent, right? 2 pictures you sent?
Just 2, yep.
Okay, let me go ahead and open up. I download them, then it goes to a stupid download folder that I gotta find. And, hold on.
Right.
All right, I got this. Do that. Let me paste it into here. And I clicked the wrong button. always paste that there. And let's open that up. And I'm not sharing my screen anymore, so let's share my screen. And we'll go to share. Is that sharing? That's sharing. Perfect.
Yep.
All right, so here is one of the tables, one of our dealers setting up at the show, and then the other picture Don sent. I think if I just click the arrow, it'll go there. Nope. Arrow this way. There it is. Yep. There's like an overview I think this is right before we opened up. Like right before we opened up to the public.
Yeah, this is like 10:05, 10:10, yeah.
Yeah, so here's the entrance down here, and then there's just a loop around. Over here's a kitchen. There's a stage over here, and this was. I'm actually in the picture. There's my head right there.
Yep, there you are.
There we go, Mikey. You're always telling me to do face reveals. I'm right here. That's me.
There he is.
And those are some of my coins. There's a pile of magazines we were giving out, and yeah, that's our show. And then here's the 2 tables we had empty because one of our dealers canceled at like 10:30 at night the night before the show. Thanks.
Yeah.
That was great. All right. Well, cool. And I know I got some pictures too. I'm going to add these to the website, and I think John Playa, club member, sent a few as well. So I'm going to get some of these updated. A couple of the pictures I got was like really busy. It was hard to even get people in there. But anywho, let's go back to here. Are we ready to?
I'm tearing up the last ones that I just did.
Do a raffle. Okay. I think so.
Maybe 20 seconds, and I get them all in.
Very good. Makes us finally a face reveal. Well, it's a head reveal.
Yeah.
How about that? All right. So I guess the first prize we're going to give out is this 2005 Bison Nickel Set. It actually looks pretty cool. I've seen a lot of these done that just look really bad and are really cheaply done. This one's nicer than average, I'd say. It's got an uncirculated buffalo nickel from 2005. It's got one that has a hologram just on the buffalo, and it actually looks really cool. And then there's one that's colorized, which is really just a sticker on the coin. It's kind of eh. And then there's one that's gold-plated, but it's still a nice coin. Anyway, if you don't like these and you get these, you crack them out and you spend them. I'm giving you 20 cents right here. Awesome. Who's going to be the winner of the nickel set?
Hold on. There we go. Texas. Whoops. There you go. Texas Joe.
Texas Joe. Congratulations. I'm just going to start making a pile of stuff here. Very, very good. If you win something, remember, you just got to claim it. You got to send me an email so we can get to you. How about let's give away this 1986 Statue of Liberty commemorative $50 in proof?
Santa Claus. Santa Claus NPC.
Really?
Just a person in chat. I'm not
NPC. All right. Well, when you send me that email claiming your prize, also make sure to send me what your YouTube name is, and along with your real name, that we can actually mail it to you. Let's give away this United Kingdom set from 1997.
All right, that is Nicolette's Hobbies.
Nicolette's Hobbies. Write that down. Very, very good. Very, very good. What are we going to give away next? How about the 2014 Glendale Medal, the 55, over 55 years, and then the bear on the other side.
CCCH.
CCCH. Congratulations. How about the 2015 medal with the really cool cap rays and stars design?
That is Truth Lives.
Truth Lives. Congratulations. Let me write that down. And remember, most of these items here have been donated by Michael Aaron. So thanks for the donation, Michael Aaron. How about this one here? $2 face value, half-ounce silver.
Oh, look, you won. Just kidding.
Oh,
Mike
dang it.
Schleiz.
Leave that there so I can write it down. Mike.
Oh, sorry. SCHLIES. I believe
Perfect.
that's what it was.
Perfect. All right. Well, congratulations to the winners of our free giveaways. Thank you very much. And yeah, very good. Make sure you send emails if you want those mailed to you. How about that? And if you don't want them mailed to you, and if you want me to just give them out the next month, or keep them in the club, or give them to somebody else, still send me an email and let us know what to do with this stuff. Very, very good. Now we are going to go ahead and do our club auction. What do you think about that, Don?
Sounds great. Everyone, bid early, bid all, or the one in 3, 2, 1.
We have 14 items up for auction tonight. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of those have been donated to the club by Greg Berkovitz. So thank you very much. You guys all remember Greg as one of our speakers that we had several months ago talking about U.S. currency, and very, very cool. So thanks, Greg, for donating a lot of these items. Again, you can see the full list of auction items in the description below. Every item is owned by the Coin Club, and everything's going to start at $1. So all the proceeds will stay with the club. And thank you very much. All winners are going to be billed $5 for shipping. So whether it costs us $1.50 to mail you the coin, which it won't because postage has gone up so much. To do a bubble mailer, it's like pretty much $4 or more now to do it anyway. It's going to cost you $5, or if we have to send it in a big flat rate box that costs us more, it's still going to cost you $5. It's just easier just to bill everybody $5. So hopefully that's fine. If you're a winner, you need to send me an email, and then I'll send you a PayPal invoice. If you don't want to pay by PayPal and you want to do some other form of payment, like a check, money order, Venmo, Cash App, Google Pay, there's all kinds of ways to do it. Just let me know in the email after you win. No bidding until after I type in the lot number and the information, and I'll then type in, as the bids go on, I'll type 3, 2, 1 sold in the chat. If you get your bid in before I type sold, the bid goes on. If your bid comes in after I type sold, too bad. So don't try to snipe at the last second, because there is delay and lag on the internet. It might show you typing in your bid before I type sold, but on my screen it'll show up after. I got to go by what's on my screen. I can't see your screen, and that's probably a good thing that I can't see some of your screens. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and do lot number 1. And I got some pictures here that were included from Greg. It was a donation from Greg. Lot number 1, it's 2 ancient coins. And they're in a little baggie here. Not really much to see there, but here's pictures of what you're getting. He printed these up. I think that's an ancient Roman coin. Is that correct, Don, you think? Looks like it.
Possibly. I don't know my ancient
I'm not really sure.
I should.
But I can probably make this full screen too, because we don't need to see your buffalo nickel.
Nope.
So that's one of the coins, and here's the other side of it. I think it goes like that. I mean, I could also pull them out of this little baggie and show them under my scope, but it won't be as good as these pictures probably. And then the other one, I know this is old Chinese something. So it's some kind of old Chinese coin. I probably had it upside down in both photos. I don't know. I wouldn't know. Mikey's going to start him at $1. Nubs wants to know if the buffalo nickel's for sale. Jeez. You got to talk to Don about that, Nubs. But right now we're bidding on this. Mikey is leading at $1. You get both of these coins for one bid. Ancient Chinese secret? Is that what it is, Paula? Maybe.
All right. Who Nubs asked about the buffalo nickel? I will give Mike the buffalo nickel, and it'll be in next month's auction. I'll donate it to the club, and it'll be in the next month's auction.
Well, there you go, Nubs. You can bid on it second Friday of December.
Yep, it'll be there.
Rich Callie bid $2 first. Then we got Nubs and Lady Kid. Mikey goes to $2.50. Remember to send those emails in for the free A&A memberships. Now, if you already sent me an email last week when I did my auction, I already got that ready, and I just didn't reply and confirm with everybody yet. So you don't need to send another email. We got you last time. Rich Callie at 4. Archaeology Mikey, $4.50. Nub said it'd look good in his typeset. It'd look good in a lot of typesets. $5 Lady Kid. Lady Kid is the first bid at $5 that I see. First at 5. Mello bids 5, way after everybody else. A $5 IOU. Well, Lady Kid's leading at 5 though right now. Mikey goes to $5.50. Oh boy. Rich Callie goes to $6. Again, thank you, Greg Berkovitz, for the donation. Very cool item. Much appreciated. What metal? They're copper or bronze. They're probably, both of them look bronze. Rich Callie at $6. Lady Kid's out. So we're going to go ahead and sell these, I believe. Sold if it holds for $6 to Rich Callie, number 21. Thank you, Rich. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thanks again, Greg, for the donation to the club. Next up, we got something that's pretty cool. This was actually a donation from Michael Aaron. I think I forgot to write it down in the description. Actually, I didn't forget. Hold on. I put it as a donation from Greg. This is actually, let me fix that. Donation from Michael Aaron. Actually, is this one. And information lot 2, copy, lot 2, boom. All right, CCCH, make sure you send me an email for the giveaway win with a mailing address. All right, this here is a 2005 California Statehood Quarter in a folder from Wells Fargo and the California State History Museum. Tells you all the information on this California Quarter. There's our former governor right there, Arnold. There you go. And back in 2005 they did this. Really cool. And this one here is autographed by Garrett Burke and I guess his wife, and I believe that maybe he's even his daughter. The designer of the California State Quarter. Remember, those of you in California might remember it was actually a competition. People could submit designs. Then they narrowed it down, I think, to the top 20, then to the top 5, and then there was a vote. And Garrett's design won the vote. And then it went to the Mint, and then the Mint changed the design a little bit, and then they changed it back a little bit more. But it's basically the same design that he won the competition with. But I think if you look up the designer of the California Quarter on the Mint website, it doesn't have Garrett's name. It has whoever the person at the Mint is that tweaked his design, which is kind of BS, but it's the way it works. But anyway, Garrett's the one that won the competition, and he's the designer of this, whether the Mint says so or not. So there you go. Phil the Board's going to bid $1 on it. $1 for the quarter. And Michael Aaron donated that to us, so thank you again, Michael Aaron, for donating the quarter. Signed on the old folder from the California History Museum. Phil the Board leading at $1, and you get a quarter back. So really, you're only paying 75 cents, right? Pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. Any other interest? That is ex-wife Kennedy. Well, I think it was Shriver, but yeah, part of the Kennedy family. They look pretty happy in that picture, though. I think 2005 was a little different time. That was like right after they got elected, I believe, in the recall. Rich Callie goes to $2. Ambeth jumps at the 5. Phil the Board goes to 6. Carmelo wanted to give 50 nickels just for the folder. Well, now we got a bid of $6 from Phil the Board. Philip the Bojord. All right, we're going to go ahead and pick a winner. Ambeth goes to 10 right when I start counting it. $10. Arnold hadn't met his maid at that point. Well, I don't know if he met her or not. I don't think it became public by then, but I don't know the exact timing of all that. But Ambeth at $10. And then Philip goes out. Go for it, Ambeth. All right. GG, huh? I think that's going to go to the Ambeth collection. Very, very nice. Thank you, thank you. What is next? What is next? Marmella almost got her name right. Let's see here. Lot number 3. Now I got to find the coin. I typed it in. Now I just got to find it. I think it's this. Half ounce of silver. 2014 Australia. War in the Pacific. Half ounce silver. I think it's 50 cents denomination on this one. Pretty cool little piece though. And came straight out of a roll right into this 2x2. It's got the warship on there. The Battle of the Coral Sea. War in the Pacific. It's got the Australian flag and the American flag in the background. War in the Pacific, 1941 through 45. We have a queen on the, I guess that's the obverse. Maybe it's reverse. I don't know which one they call which. But yeah, half ounce, 999 silver, 2014, 50 cents, Elizabeth II, Australia. But silver is up, too. Silver's up. Wow. There's Greg Berkovitz. Greg, thanks again for the donations. We got several of them in the auction tonight. Much appreciated. Everybody say thanks, Greg. Make sure you do that. Vern's up to 16, leading at 16 right now. Thanks for the bids, everyone. Nubs is out. Vern is leading. My main man, Vern. VRN. All right. And I think we're going to go ahead and pick a winner here. And that's going to be Vern. Congratulations, Vern. Thank you very much. Next up, we have the Apollo $50. That's this one right there. Really cool piece. $2019 San Francisco Proof Apollo 11 Commemorative $50. Doesn't have any box or paperwork or anything. This is how we got it. In the original capsule, though, it's the curved coin, concave on this side, convex on this side. Really cool piece. Not silver. This is copper nickel clad, just to be clear. But it's in the original capsule. Proof Apollo 11. 50th anniversary. Very, very fun. I can't remember what the mint sold these at. It's usually like 20 or 25 bucks, something like that, for the $50. But real impressive coins. Definitely one of my favorite modern commems. The helmet design and the boot print. Nubs goes to 15. Stepped on it so hard it bent. That's right, NCFXSTI. Best use of the design ever. I don't know. The baseball hat's not bad, Gringo, but yeah, this one's pretty good. Pretty good curved coin for sure. Nubs is leading at 15, Vern. Vern goes to 16. Vern LaPointe, $16. Kerbal Space Program coin, basically. Nubs Hunts Treasure at 17. Man, that makes me want to play Kerbal, JW. And Kerbal Space Program 2 is coming out soon. I don't know if they've picked a release date, but it's soon. Vern LaPointe at 18. But there's so much stuff I've never even done in the first Kerbal game that still do. Amy Maud jumps at the 20 bucks for the Apollo 11 commemorative $50. Helmet was pretty perfect. Yeah, it's like I've seen many lists like of best photographs of the 20th century or like most iconic photographs, and like that one's always like in the top 5 for like most recognized photos or most historical photograph. You know, I mean, it's on the freaking moon, you know. And the boot print's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Vern LaPointe goes to 21. Mikey's asking about gaming. Haven't even thought about that yet. Paula wants to see some more dinosaurs. Yeah, that's fun. Amy Maud goes to $22. Getting in just before Nubs. Doing it for the crew, he says. And then he says, dang it. 22 Amy Maud. For the OG 22 YouTube crew. All right. $22 to Amy. Vern goes to 23. Hector, you don't have to repeat the bids. We got it. It's probably just me adding confusion, but I appreciate you trying to help. We got it. Vern at 23. You still need the 5-ounce version? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Gringo. I see them available every now and then. Amy goes to 24. I see them available like in auctions sometimes, not just eBay, but like other coin auctions, certified ones, and probably should just buy one next time I see one that's not like too crazy. But the problem with the big 5-ounce ones, even the slabbed ones, is a lot of them started to get like small spots on the silver, like especially in this very flat, shiny area of the helmet. There's like some minor spotting even on the Proof 70s, and I'm a little leery about buying one just off a photo. I'd like to see them in hand, but anyway, they're still cool, even if they have a little milk spot on them. You saw one on Facebook. Amy Maud at 24. Vern goes to 25 right when I was starting to think about counting it down. Paula, you don't like the Kerbal Space Program game? All right. Vern goes to 25. Come on, Paula. Well, I think you're not alone, because the last time I played that, I think I had 5 viewers, and I was one of them. Vern at $25. Yeah, the 5-ounce silver one's awesome. Even the 1-ounce silver ones are pretty cool, but the 5-ounce one is just awesome. Don, are you listening? Next time you get the 5-ounce silvers in the shop, don't just save them for us.
Okay.
I got like 3 or 4 people here wanting them, and they're always asking me, and I want them too. So.
All right. None of them come in a while, so no problem.
All right, save them as long as they don't look like shit, of course. Yeah, they're usually nice. Vern at 25. Let's go ahead and sell this to Vern, I think. Oh, no. Amy says 26 and a red book. Well, I'll get you a red book for sure. Amy at 26. Amy at 26. Amy, $26. I'll give Vern a little bit of chance to bite back, but other than that, I think Amy might get this one. But Vern's like, I already spent $5 shipping on this auction. I'm getting more than one item, damn it. I think that's what he's thinking. He says you win. Now, that is not legally binding in the auction. He could immediately just say 27 and with a laughing face if he felt like it. 2-1 and sold if it holds, and I think it's going to hold. That's 26. Amy Maud plus she wants a red book. Perfect. Easy to do. Easy to do. All right, that was lot number 4. Well, that one lasted quite a while. Let's go ahead and get to the next one. This next one's a donation from Greg Berkovitz. Lot number 5 at the 1934 silver certificate. 1930. The minimum bid on this is $1. You got to be at least face value. Isn't that our rule, Don? Minimum bid's at least $1.
That is.
Vern typed in $27 after it was already sold. Mikey wants to know, do I have a red book from 2001? I don't know, Mikey. I doubt it. Usually I don't take them when they're that old. But I'm sure Don comes across them or might have one at the shop. Who knows? But I don't even know if they save the old ones. All right. NCF XSTI goes to $5. You know what's cool about this one, Don? This silver certificate? It's the funny pack. It's the funny pack.
Nice.
It's a funny pack.
Ah.
Thanks, Spike Ted at Die Crack. Hello to the Glendale Club. Well, hello right back to you. Vam 22 goes to 6. Rich Kelly goes to 8. NCF XTI goes to 12. And I believe the information Greg gave me on this one, he can correct us if we're wrong, is they only did the small-sized funny back notes for 2 different series. That was, I think, 28 and 34. I believe that's it. And then they went to the different reverse for a series of 35. And then 57, I guess. And then all the different letters that went with them, too. Let's see. NCF XSTI is at $12. $12. Hector goes to 13, and we'll show this in a little more detail there. It's got some folds. All the details there. I didn't see any holes or anything in it. You can kind of see it through the light there. No tears or holes that I know of. And what's Greg's notes say there? There's the FR number 1666 or 1606. I don't know. You guys know it if you're a currency collector. There you go. NCFX STI goes to $20. $20. Okay. JW goes to 22. JW goes to 22. Hector's out. Funny money. Yeah, kind of. I mean, it does look like play money to some of us today, doesn't it? I mean, I think so. Looks kind of funny. That's why they call him the funny back, I think. NCFX STI, 25. JW, 26. JW, 26. Thanks again, everybody, for being here. Thanks for all the support of our coin club. Thanks to those of you who sent us the emails to take us up on the offer to join the ANA. That really helps out, and it really helps our club get better standing with the ANA, too, when they see, wow, look at that little club in Glendale, California sent in 40 new people or 20 new people or 8, whatever we end up doing, and gives us some clout. Gives us some clout, I believe. NCF XSTI at $28. What am I, a clown to you, New England? Do I amuse you? $30, JW. $30. Yes, funny back. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then there's the front again. And let's see if that holds. Did JW take it? Did JW take it? I think he took it. And then hobbies. Congratulations. Well done, sir. Well done. Ouch. What did I just do there? Okay. Got to do this. This is going to be the next item. This is a cool piece, I think. Boom. Lot number 6. Bam, bam. Lot number 6, you get this box. The box isn't in the best of shape. It's the original box, though. And you get what's in the box, too. It's got a little thing there on the inside. It's got a little certificate for the $2 Flamingo coin of the Bahamas. Minted in proof quality by the Franklin Mint. Wow. Wow. There's a whole bunch of stuff. You can pause your screen right now and read all that. There you go. And it's the solid sterling silver proof, and then there's the box for it, but it's still in the original holder from the Franklin Mint. The 1972 proof, $2 flamingos. Very cool coin. Little bit hazy on the other side, just the way they are. You could probably dip that off if you really wanted to pop it out of here and make it look prettier, but there you go. $2, 1972 flamingos from the Bahamas. And if you guys want to know a little bit of the information on that, again, it's sterling silver, 29.8 grams. The actual silver weight is 0.8862 ounces. So today's melt value, $22.50. The mintage was only, I think they said the mintage is 65,000 on this. I think it was about 65,000 total, somewhere around there. But that might include the regular uncirculated ones too. It was a little unclear from the book when I looked it up. A little bit unclear. So we got bids of 6, 2, 10, 15, 20, 22. Oh, Ringo OG 22, bidding 22. Still 50 cents under the melt value. Okay. Let's see. Koalas are out for their third tea time. All right, Marmello, thanks for watching. Maybe we'll see you later. Mikey says you saw C.C. Morgan, a big mill would buy. Well, maybe. Depends on the price. C.C. Morgans are always out there and available, but they're not cheap right now, I'll tell you that. Okay. Yeah, and here's the coin. You guys are going to let Gringo get this for less than melt? Really? Really? Don's going to let Gringo get this for less than melt? Okay. Maybe. Maybe. Ringo at $22. Vern says 23. He's like, I like the coin. It's got flamingos on it. Right? That's cool, right? Now, these are always pretty popular. We have these in our coin club auctions all the time. People really love them. Nubs goes to 25. Just barely edging out NCF XSTI on getting the bid in on time and first. NCF's probably first on his screen. He's like, what the hell? But no, Nubs is first on my screen at 25. Okay. Got several more really cool items coming up shortly. Please stay tuned. Nubs Hunts Treasure leading at 25. Nubs Hunts Treasure leading at 25. I know you know NCF, but again, if anybody ever wants to know for sure, wants to make sure, I can always share my screen and show you guys. So, no problem. You want to throw a shoe? No, we don't do that here. BCGS MS66. Yeah, that's probably pretty expensive, Mikey. You should buy it, Mikey. NCF XSTI was beaten out by Nubs, so Nubs gets that for 25 to Nubs. Hunts Treasure. There we go. I'll put all that back the way we found it. And then we got a coin from Australia. Didn't have the money for it, Mikey? Yeah. Banks is lurking. Thanks for lurking, Banks. Congrats to Nubs. Next up, 2019 Australian Silver Kangaroo. It's a 1 ounce silver piece. 4.9's fine. With a kangaroo on it. We got bids of 8, 9, 11. NCF jumps it right to 28. Don tried to sneak in with a 26, but Don Sparkle Flare is actually first at 30. Then Don tried to bid 30, but Sparkle Flare at 30. Marmelo's bidding 55 and I'm out. Marmelo, I don't know if that's a real bid or not. I'm going to keep it at Sparkle Flare at 30. Marmelo, we can't take bids if we haven't figured out how to get payment from New Zealand yet. Remember, this is for the club, and so. But if you think you figured it out, you can put your bid in again, but I can't take that. You can't say you're out and bid at the same time. Sparkle Flare leading at $30. Yeah, they do a pretty good job on the kangaroos. Now, some of the older kangaroos are real cool, and I got an album of those that maybe we'll auction someday, some of the older ones. But this one's pretty cool. It's got that design plus the cartwheel luster. Just really makes them pop. This coin show owner watches YouTube and you showed him, uh-oh, Mikey. Well, I appreciate that. So Mikey, maybe he's watching right now. $30 Sparkle Flare in the lead. Nub sneaks in there with 31 before I type sold. Nubs Hunts Treasure at 31 for the ounce of silver. $31 to Nubs. Give Sparkle Flare a little bit of a chance to get back in if chooses to. Any scratches? Not that I see. No, it looks perfect. Came straight out of a roll. I think we bought a full roll of them that year, and I put them immediately into the crown size 2.5 by 2.5. Not a mark on it that I can see. 31 the Nub, 32 Sparkle Flare. $32 Sparkle Flare. Give Nubs a little second to get in. I only typed 1 in once, but it looks like YouTube put it in there twice. Thanks, YouTube. I only typed it once, I swear. 32 to Sparkle Flare. Be cool to have a rainbow tone Kangaroo silver round. Probably, but I don't know how that would happen naturally unless someone put a Kangaroo coin in some kind of a cardboard holder or something and then kept it there for a few years. And even then, it'd be a little bit sus on whether it was natural or not, I think, to most people. YouTube's like, you're welcome. Lot number 8, also from 2019. The club bought a full roll of these. Again, put them straight in the 2.5 by 2.5 crown size holders. Coin looks absolutely perfect. I don't see any marks or spots of any kind. Great Britain, 2019, 1 ounce, 999 fine, Britannia. This one's pretty cool. Nubs goes right to 26. He's like, I'm going to win one of these. I mean, he's already won one of them, I believe. But there you go. 26 is at Nubs in the lead. It's rigged against the Koalas. Yeah. I got you, Marmello. I got you. Vern goes to 27. Nubs goes 29. Yeah, I didn't. We bought a full roll of them as the club. I didn't even look at them for the mule varieties. I don't even think we knew about it when we first got it. She's holding a trident. Hell yeah. You got that right. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Nubs at 29. All right. Yep. Yeah, I wonder what kind of enchantments are on that trident, right? Come on, Minecraft. What? Next up, lot number 9. Lot number 9. And I hit the wrong button there. Shoot. Copy. Paste. 35. Morello, you're a little bit late. You're a little bit late on that bid. Next up, lot number. What? Trident? Yeah, Banks, it had a trident. I wonder if it had channeling. All right. 1 ounce. 2006 Mexico Libertad, starting at $1. And we really can't see much of it because it's in an old capsule that's from the Banco Azteca. And I just never took it out of this capsule. The capsule doesn't look to be that easy to open. So I figured maybe somebody would want it in that original capsule from the Banco Azteca. I mean, we can look at this under the microscope and see what else it says because I can't really read it. It's nice and tiny there. Let's just take a look. The capsule's a little beat up, but that's oh, look at that. Look at that. There's the Libertad design. Yeah, a very nice design. Very nice. Lots of detail. Lots of detail there. This is Banco Azteca Vapor to Futuro. So you got that going for you, which is nice. Vapor to Futuro. Exactly. Everybody knows what that means. Anyway, there's the coin. I'm sure I don't see any marks or hits on it.
Isn't it like for your future?
Probably.
Yeah.
Something future. And thanks, Don. And so yeah, I don't see anything wrong with the coin. I mean, I just thought it'd be cool to keep it in the capsule. Someone might like that. So that's the way we kept it. We got this from at the Coin Club, I think many, many years ago. But we got bids of 15, 31, 31, 32, 34, 37, 39. SoCal Box Breaks is in the lead. Don likes it. You like the wings? Yeah, the wings are pretty cool. Great detail. Outstanding, as Mill would say. Yep. Full detail. Must get cold in Mexico. That's all I got to say. Don is $39 bid. Go for your future, says JW maybe. Something for your future. Yeah, definitely. You guys going to let Don win stuff in the Coin Club auction? What? What? And Don won that. Congratulations, Don. Congratulations. Next up, we got a really cool piece from Mr. Greg Berkovitz. 3 of the last 5 items are from Greg Berkovitz donations. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Lot number 10, very, very high grade from Series 1957, silver certificate, graded 67 EPQ by PMG. Yikes. Wow. Rich Kelly's bidding $1 right off the bat. I bet you are. I bet you are, Rich. Heck yeah, you are. Very, very cool piece. Vern goes to 15. Don goes to 26. And there it is. It almost looks like the serial number is a little bit too low. I don't know if that's just the way it just looks like it. Right above the $1. I don't know. Probably not enough to make that an error, or maybe that's just my mind playing tricks on me, but it just looks a little low. Anyway, EPQ, meaning exceptional paper quality, 67. And I would say they don't get much better than this, but they do have 68s, I believe, but those are big money. This one's worth a few bucks too, though. This one's worth definitely a few bucks. So Greg, that serial number is a little bit lower than it should be. It just looks like it. Yeah, it just looks a little bit low. But I don't know if it's enough to be a big deal, but maybe. We'll let the bidders decide. Don is leading at $26. That seems pretty cheap. It costs more to get these damn things graded, I believe. Gringo goes to 27. Don goes to 28. Yeah, Greg donated. Wait till you see the next few things, Amanda. Wait till you see the last 2 things we got up for tonight. Very, very nice items. Rich Kelly goes to, we already got a bid at 28. Don's at 28. Gringo goes to 30. Don goes to 31. For the 1957 silver certificate from the AA block. Why don't currency grades go to 70? They do. They grade on the 70-point scale as well, Nubs. This is 67 out of 70. I don't think you get many notes that actually grade 70, though. Like, you get a lot of coins that grade 70. They don't seem to give out that grade as much, or I don't even know. Can't even think if I've ever seen a 70, but maybe they exist. I don't know. DTT goes to 35. Don goes to 36. JD's in the house. Hey. Thanks for being here. New England Notes, they do, but they rarely get it out. Yeah, it's the same scale, though. Same scale. Oh, sorry, Nubs, if I said something confusing there. The power never tries the shit. Yeah, exactly, Marmello. Don's at $36. They are 70s, but few and far between. Yeah, I would bet. Not like coins where half the coins that come out each year to give 70. Don's leading at $36, which I think is still a bargain, and I'd probably be bidding on it if I wasn't auctioning it. But I don't try not to bid on the stuff we're selling, even though I can if I feel like it, I guess. But I try not to. Try to let other people win stuff. And I think that might go to Don. Is that 2 in a row he's won? Very good. Thank you again, Greg. And thank you, Don, for bidding. Okay. What do we got here? I got to find a spot to set this now without getting it all bent out of shape. 2016 Silver Eagles coming up next. Speaking of 70, this one's graded 70. Hot number 11. 2016 30th anniversary Silver Eagle First Strike MS70. This is a reeded edge, just a normal bullion piece. Doesn't have a W mint mark or anything, but it's in the First Strike flag label. 2016. Greg goes to 41. After Don's bid of 36 and Vern's bid of 20 and Rich's bid of 1. Greg Berkovitz leading at $41 for the MS70. 2016. Looks pretty darn perfect. SoCal goes to 42. NCF goes to 45. Marmelo's cheering Don along. NCF in the lead at $45. Greg goes to 48. Greg at $48. Silver's up, isn't it? Silver's been up a couple bucks since our coin show, seems like. I think it was 23 something at our coin show. Now it's like 25 and a half or something, isn't it? Something like that. 25 and a quarter. NCF goes to 53. Thank you for the bids. $53 is the top bid thus far. We're going to close it soon. I'm going to attempt to close it soon. We got a bid from Bob Thompson, I believe, came in before I typed sold. Let me refresh my screen just to make sure. Bob did get in on time. Bob is winning at 60. He got in before I even typed 1. On one screen it was after, on the other he got in. Yep. There is lag. You guys all know how that works. So I'm going to type in Bob Thompson leading at 60. So just want to make sure everybody knows the bid goes on. I'll go up and retract my sold because it did not sell. Just part of what we got to deal with on the internet. We gotta, wish it was live and no low lag for anybody, but we're not there yet. Probably a few more years we'll be there with the way computers work and internet. Can you see my screen? No, usually it's pretty much the same for everybody but the people bidding. Yeah, that's how it works. So Bob's leading at $60. Thanks, Bob, for the bid. Bob leading at $60. Try to go ahead and count that down and sell it again. See if that worked. Very, very good. Thank you very much for all the bids, everyone, and congratulations to Bob Thompson. Next up, we got to show what this is here. But this was a donation from Greg Berkovitz. Thank you very much again for that, donating to the club. We're going to start it at $1. Now, this is not a piece of currency. This is a cutout print from a ANA souvenir card. So at the ANA shows, this one was done in 1981. Greg's printed out some information about it. They use the printing plates, and they actually print it on old printing presses, but they do it on a souvenir card of the old designs. And this is the reverse or the backside of the 1886 $5 silver certificate. Greg has printed out an image of what the obverse looks like for reference. This is just a print, you're not getting this note. So that's what the obverse of the silver certificate looks like. And this is the reverse. Very popular design with 5 Morgan silver dollars printed on it, dated 1886. Very, very cool piece. So this is the cutout piece of the souvenir card. If you like this and you like souvenir cards, you can go on eBay and probably buy the entire souvenir card. This is a more popular one. They don't go super cheap. But this was cut out really nicely, sent in for grading. So it's an intaglio impression from original printing plate on a Bureau of Engraving and Printing card, graded 67 PPQ, back of the 1886 $5 silver certificate, and the other side's blank. But that's what you get. Just awesome design. Now, the original note, like if you wanted to buy like one of these $5 silver certificates, even in like condition of 50, not to mention a 67, they're many $1,000s, I believe. They're not cheap at all. They might even be tens of thousands. Probably when you get into this grade, they're, you know, very, very expensive. But just a really cool piece, awesome design, especially a real popular design amongst coin collectors, just because it has the coins on it. Awesome. So thanks, Greg, for that. And you'll get this paperwork that Greg printed out to describe it and show you exactly what it's all about. Very cool. So let's see what the bids are looking like. We got a top bid of 42 so far, I believe. Top bid of $42. Never seen anything like that. That is cool. That is definitely really cool. I've got to believe it's worth a little bit more than that. So I think it's going cheap so far, but green goes in the lead at $42. Again, all proceeds go to the Glendale Coin Club. Thanks again to Greg Berkovitz for his many donations. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And thanks to all the bidders. The donations are only half the part of it. You know, the donations are great, but it takes the bidders too. It takes the bidders as well to get the club some fun. So we appreciate each and every one of you. Don was at 41, green go at 42. I believe that's going to sell to green go. I kind of wanted to just keep this and pretend like it was never donated to the club and just keep it for myself, but I would not do that, of course. But definitely one of my favorites. Always like that design on currency, and I will own one of the real ones someday, maybe. Who knows? Probably not, right? Probably not. Next up. Just because we saw that note with an 1886 silver dollar on it, I figured let's go ahead and auction a real 1886 silver dollar. How about that? How about that? You just saw the picture of a silver dollar on the back of a $5 silver certificate reprint. How about a real silver dollar? 1886 Morgan silver dollar, PCGS, MS63, opening bid of $1. SoCal jumps it right to 37. He's like, I'm not kidding around. He's like, I work at a coin shop. We sell these all day long. I'm going to buy this cheap. And Vern's like, nah-uh. CR's like, nah-uh. There's a scuff on the holder you're seeing there when I turn it. That's not on the coin. You can see that moving around, but that could probably polish out, or maybe it's just a spot. Yeah, it's just a little scuff on the holder. But it's a nice 1886 silver dollar. SoCal goes to 61. Reverse? Yeah, it's right here. It's on the other side. It is a reverse. If anybody wants to see it under the microscope, I could, but it's an MS63, you know. Nubs goes to 66. CR goes to 68. Nub says 69, dudes. You want to look at the arrows? All right, Mikey. Let's look at the arrows. We're going to go to Cam, switch that to the microscope. And he wants to look at the arrows. There's the arrows. Or do you want to look at this side? There's the full arrows. Mikey's trying to cherry pick some VAMs here. He's trying. CR at 71. It was Nubs at 69, Greg Berkovitz also at 69, then CR at 71. Vern says he's out for now. That's what he says. Now we just got one more item after this. That's it. Looks like doubling on the top of the left arrow. I have no idea. Maybe. Maybe. It's possible. A little bit. Greg goes to 73. $73. Greg Berkovitz in the lead. Boom. $73. Go ahead and sell it. Try to. Yeah, I think that sold. To Greg Berkovitz. Thank you very much. My phone keeps buzzing and buzzing. I'm sorry about that. Don was just telling me he's putting his headset down for a second, so he can't talk for a second, but he might bid on the last item, he says, depending on what it is. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and get to that last item. This is awesome. So this is going to take a second to show this off. There's some information, and then this is the last item. Let's go ahead and paste in the information so you guys can start thinking about bidding. We're going to show a few things first. This is patent date 1877 gold and silver coin scale / counterfeit detector. It also is used for weighing and pricing out postage on mail. Very cool piece. Don's already bidden $55 on it. I actually have another club member that sent me a text with a proxy bid, so I might have to outbid Don in just a second. So we might have to go a little higher. So what this is it's just a piece of metal. Flat side here, and then a part that sits up here. You put coins in here, and if it makes the balance go down just barely, it's a real weight. If the coin sits here and doesn't tip this, it's counterfeit. It also has these slots. If the coin fits through, it's good. If the coin doesn't fit through, it's not good. Greg printed out some of the information here about the patent and how the item works, and also talks about it right here. This is really cool. It does all the different gold coins and silver coins. It even has slots for, you can see there, it's really hard to make this out on my camera. I'm sorry about that, but you can see there, it's got all the different denominations. $20 gold, $5, $10, $3 gold, $2.50 gold. This is what it is. Gold and silver counterfeit coin detector, patented February 27th, 1877, U.S. standard. And it's, can't read the company name there. I know Greg wrote it down. Berrien Manufacturer Company, New York. New York, yep. So that is really cool. It's up to 120, 145. That beats out the proxy bid I had. I had a proxy bid from another club member at $100. So this is pretty cool. I want to also show you, just for reference, this here. There's a lot nicer version that I found online. Let me go ahead and share my screen, just so you guys know this is like the real deal and it's worth what they're bidding already. Let's share the screen, show this. Right here, you can see this is exactly the item, the exact same thing. This was in an August 2020 auction at Stack's Bowers. This example sold for $288. Same exact thing. Again, counterfeit detector, 2 slots each for the coins, even the $3 gold, which I think they stopped in 1878. So really the 1877 date makes a lot of sense there. And yeah, really, really cool piece. And yeah, there's what it sold for in a Stack's. Now that was nicer. The plating was a little, it's a nickel plated brass. That one, the one that we have here for sale, let's go ahead and show that one again. A lot more of the plating is like, kind of coming off, but it's still an awesome piece. And I also just happen to have a couple coins to show you how this works. So here we go. I got a Morgan silver dollar. Is it the right size? We go to the dollar slot right there. Slides right through the dollar slot. That's good. That's good, right? Then we go to the dollar where you weigh it. That's this slot right here. And it just barely tips it over. You guys can see it just barely tips it to where this is on the thing. So that means the weight of this is good because it tips it over. I also happen to have a counterfeit peace dollar right here. Let's see if it fits through the dollar slot. It doesn't. It gets stuck. It gets stuck. That's not a good sign. Let's put it in the dollar slot to weigh it. It doesn't tip it. It stays flat. The coin's not heavy enough to tip it. Counterfeit detector works. 1877 technology. Why not? Works pretty good. And it would work the same in all the different denominations. Now, of course, the $2.50 gold, you'd have to put way over here to get it to tip. The $1 and the $20 gold, you got to put real close to get a tip. It's all very precision made and pretty damn cool, if you ask me. Pretty damn cool. So we got SoCal at 165. Why don't they still make these? Because this was for silver and gold coins, where the size and weight really made a difference. Now, do you care if you get a counterfeit Washington quarter from 1996? It's just a chunk of copper plated nickel anyway. It's not worth the metal value, you know. So I mean, that's part of it, because you don't have gold and silver coins anymore. Let me see what are the other comments that I missed. How accurate? It works pretty well, Steve. I just tested it. Though that's the only one. That's the only counterfeit I had handy. So, and I mean, I could test it with other silver coins. Like, actually, no, these are the ones I got laying around. Actually, this is a $50, silver $50. Let's put it in the silver $50 spot. Where's it at? I got to find which spot's for $50. Hold on. Okay, this spot right here is for $50. Let's see if it tips the scale. Yeah, it just barely tips it. So that weight is good for that 1964 Kennedy. The slot for $50, this one, it should fit through there. It really doesn't. This one is actually a BU example with a raised up rim. It doesn't really fit through the slot there. So maybe the thickness of this $50 is a little different than the ones you would have in 1877. And it would depend. I don't know. Maybe $50 is not the way it worked. But I know the Morgan and the peace dollar work good, and the weight of this just barely tips it. But it doesn't fit through that slot. Maybe I just got a bad example of a half. Let me check another one I got sitting here. Now, it doesn't fit through the 50-cent slot. So maybe it's only good for like old seated stuff. Not sure. Not sure. But it goes down to quarters. It doesn't have a spot for dimes, I don't believe. So let me go catch on chat. Is this sold? Let's see here. Heritage had a lot of 4 of them back for $1,680. Yeah, these are not cheap. Not at all. Let's see. Does it work with ASEs? No. So old copper coins. I wonder about the try for a seed. Yeah, I don't have a counterfeit seeded, and I don't even have a real seeded just laying around. I'm looking around to see if I have any other raw coins that I could get to test it, and I really don't. So we're gonna have to go ahead and just get it sold. You know what? And that's the thing, Rich. I think I probably could force it through the slot, but I don't want to scratch up the rim. It feels like it's just barely grabbing like the raised up rim on the Kennedy half. It's just barely grabbing it. So if you had a lightly circulated coin, a lightly circulated half, it'd slide right through there. Bust out some of the gold. I don't have any raw 2.5, 5, or 10 or 20s right now. Just don't. All right, I think that is it. But it's really cool. You can see real easily. I think Don's going to get that for $165. You can see here with the fake peace dollar, it just doesn't go all the way through the slot. It just barely gets hung up. So whoever made this made it slightly bigger to make it heavier with the base metal. And then when you put it in here in the scale, it's still underweight. It doesn't totally tip the scale. But when you do the same thing with a real Morgan dollar and put it in that same slot for the dollars, the scale tips. Hopefully you guys can see that. The scale tips and lands flat right there. And the Morgan dollar goes right through easily. Because it's smaller and it's denser. That's how you figure it out, I guess. Pretty cool little, and it talks about all that right here in the patent paperwork that Don will be given. So thank you very much for the bids. Daniel Roberts with a $4.99 super chat to the club. Awesome. Very generous of you to do that. Thank you again, Greg Berkovitz, for the donation to the club. This last piece especially was a very cool item just to donate. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And yeah, these are very collectible. I think there's even books on these now. And I know there was a Coin Club presentation that we had at our coin club a few years ago about these items. And there are all kinds of different, like, shapes, sizes of counterfeit detectors. And they were really important back in the 1800s because, even like a $2.5, $5, $10 gold piece, that was a lot of money. Even the silver dollar was a lot of money back then. And you didn't want someone passing off something that wasn't really silver. And this was easy. You could have it at every cash register, and really cool piece. All right. I want to thank everybody else for being here. I guess I'll bring Don's screen back up just in case. He said he wasn't really going to say anything else, though. He said he was pretty much done. He even took his coin away and maybe just left his camera running. Don't know. But I want to thank everybody else for being part of this meeting. Again, everybody say thanks to Greg. He's like, go GCC. Absolutely. Well, thanks again to Greg. And thanks again to Michael Aaron for the donations of many of the giveaway prizes that we gave away earlier. Remember, if you won anything in the auction tonight, go ahead and send me an email. Just let me know that, you want to pay by PayPal and the address that you're emailing me from is good. Or if you want to pay by some other way, just let me know in that email. I'll go ahead and get invoices out to everybody probably tomorrow. Don't really think I'm going to get it done tonight. Amy Maud, all you got to do is send me an email saying, hey, it's me, Amy Maud. I won lot number 4, and I also want a red book. That's all you really got to do. And then I'll send you a PayPal invoice probably tomorrow. And then you just pay that PayPal. PayPal gives me your mailing address automatically, and I'll just send it like that. Now, if you don't want to pay PayPal, you'd rather mail a check or you'd rather do Venmo or something, then just let me know in that email. All righty. And remember, one more shout out. Gringo says, join the ANA. We have free ANA memberships. You guys have to know people out there. You have to know some kids or somebody out there, friends or relatives that you think might have a slight interest in coins. We want to try to grow this hobby. You know why? For selfish reasons. All of our coins become worth lots more money if there's more collectors wanting to buy our coins. So try to find out people you want to get hooked on this hobby of ours so all of our stuff becomes more valuable. If you think you know somebody, let me know. We'll get them a free 1-year ANA membership, and you can say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you do, and you could be the big hero there. It'd be great. How much for a red book? Vern, if you know somebody that needs a red book, just send me an email and I can get them a red book. No charge. All right. Any other questions? Go ahead and you can send those by email too. Thanks again. Thanks again to Don for all his help and getting all that stuff written down for the giveaways. And hopefully sometime in 2022, we can do real meetings again. But at the rate the city of LA and the county of LA are going, they're making it more and more difficult as time goes on. It looked like they were going to open it up a little bit there, but now pretty much to do our meetings, we'd have to have someone at the door like checking vaccination statuses and still do social distancing, still wearing masks, no food or drinks. And that's even if they would let us do it. And it's not looking good for the next few months. So I think for the next couple months, we're going to keep doing meetings here on YouTube, and we're going to just do the best we can. But you know what? It's been working out. Thanks again to all of your support, and we do appreciate that. Thanks again. Good to see a lot of you here. Again, it would be a lot better if we could do it in person. But again, think about all the people around the state and even around the country, and even got some guys bugging us from New Zealand in the chat, right, Marmello? That would not be at our local meeting. So maybe a little blessing in disguise that we got much more reach here through the internet. Thanks again, everybody. And we will see you again next time. Goodbye.